let me show you this video. I don't think, and remind me if I played this video before. I don't think that I played it, but I may have. Did I play? Y'all tell me. Hold on. Let me know if I played this one. Is this it? Yeah, here we go. Here we go.
All the more reason we need somebody who's
Vice President Harris.
Listen to the question that's asked, and then listen to how this governor responds.
Did not make clear whether she supports any restrictions on abortion. Currently, 9 states and the District of Columbia have no gestational ban on abortions. Her comments about the military. She said during the debate this about the U.S. military. Let's listen.
As of today, there is not one member of the United States military who is in active duty in a combat zone in any war zone around the world, the first time this century.
Our fact checkers found that to be false.
Listen to this response. I know you already heard the first part.
Area as well. There are currently 900 U.S. military personnel in Syria, 2,500 U.S. troops in Iraq. All have been under regular threat from drones and missiles for months. We also have action in the Red Sea. We also, every single day, the Navy SEALs, Delta Forces, special operators can be part of any sort of deadly raid. So why would she make that claim?
I had to pause it for dramatic purposes. But you would expect the governor to have to respond to that question. Why would you say that we don't have any troops active in an area, however she worded it? Did she not know? Did she know? Why would she say that? Listen to this governor's response. And you tell me if we can trust our politicians. You tell me if you can trust the people that are giving us guidance, the people that we hold in the highest regards, that are making decisions on how our lives go, that are making decisions on whether or not we need to get vaccinated on something during 2020, that are making decisions in every area of our lives. These people make decisions where it impacts every area of our lives. And you tell me if you trust somebody like this.
Well, I think what's important here, Martha, is that Kamala Harris, in contrast to Donald Trump, demonstrated herself to be commander-in-chief. We are in a world where there are all sorts of conflicts, and it's all the more reason we need somebody who's serious.
She just said that Kamala Harris demonstrated herself to be commander-in-chief in a response about a question where she was called out for lying.
And who supports the military. And just remember,
but Governor, excuse me, but she said there is not one member of the United States military who is in active duty in a combat zone. That is not true. You say she demonstrated her ability to be commander-in-chief, but did she not know about these people in Syria and Iraq? Why would she say that?
Look, that was a comment. That was a comment in a debate. I think the point that she was trying to make was a broader point. And of course we have military.
That was a comment in a debate. I think the broader point that she was trying to make. These people, I'm not even going to say that they're fools. I don't think that they're fools. But they definitely think that we are fools.
That was a comment in a debate. I think the point that she was trying to make was a broader point. And of course we have military in place all around this country. That's important. We're the United States of America.
Not around this country, ma'am.
And Kamala Harris, remember, is the person who stands with NATO, who supports our allies, who's working to bring countries together. Donald Trump stands with Vladimir Putin. So, I think that's what's really important. Kamala Harris, she respects our military. She respects our service members. Donald Trump calls them suckers and losers. And it's why Donald Trump's...
They just say certain stuff. They just say certain stuff. Multiple people said that this isn't true. They said that they found people that said that that was true, that he said it.
Former military generals support Kamala Harris. They say that Donald Trump shouldn't be anywhere near the Oval Office. And I think...
So say their names, bro. We don't know who you're talking about. I can jump on here and say anything just as you just said.
I think those are the points, Martha, that people need to understand. We live in a world of very serious times with serious consequences. And
serious times and serious consequences. So you can lie on a debate stage. Because there's serious times and serious consequences, Kamala Harris is allowed to lie on a debate stage without being held accountable. This is a very simple thing. All she had to do was say, oh, she made a mistake. She made a mistake. She misspoke. She was wrong on that. I don't know why she was wrong on it, but she's wrong. But let me tell you this about it. Say that.
the actions of the next commander-in-chief matter. Kamala Harris will be that commander-in-chief and lead us forward in freedom, working with others.
Governor, I want to hit another. I want to stick to.
And I'm glad that the interviewer, I'm glad that she interrupted her like that. So let me tell you this. This guy Scott, man, I forget his last name, but he's on CNN. I'm always impressed by him. He's always the lone Republican, Scott Jennings. He's always the lone Republican, lone conservative. I don't know if there's a difference, whatever. But he's always the lone one on CNN, and he always holds it down, stays calm, cool, and collected. This is the type of things that I look up to. How he can conduct himself in hostile territory. But listen to what he said. I think that it holds some weight. I think that it's something for us all to take heed to. You guys tell me if you think the same. Let's switch it right quick.
They have tried to kill this man twice. Okay? He got shot in the ear, and this guy was sitting up shop outside of a golf course to try to kill him this weekend. And I know after something like this happens, it's very fashionable to, talk about rhetoric on both sides. Donald Trump is the target. Okay? He's the current target. And it's happening, and it's happened again. And honestly, we have to have a conversation about elections. If you lose an election, the country's not going to come to an end, okay? What I want Democrats to do, honestly, is to say, it's okay. Like, if Donald Trump wins, democracy will not end, the Constitution will not end, we're not going to live in a dictatorship, there will not be a bloodbath. All the things they say that are totally fabricated, to me, it would be a good day to stop doing that. The most important thing that could possibly happen, in my opinion, is for everybody to agree, especially Democrats, that the country is not going to be irreparably damaged if Democrats lose, that the Constitution is not going to go away, democracy is not going to come to an end, there will be no bloodbath, there will be no dictatorship on day one, which they all say all day long on this network and others. If everyone could just agree that that kind of hyperbolic statement will not take place anymore and that it's not been true every time it's been said, that would be a step in the right direction. And I know everybody's talking today about all the rhetoric in this country and what are we going to...
All right, so you see where he's getting at. And Shy, I actually just saw your comment. I'm glad that I saw that. Let me get to that now. But there was something that it just came to me. There was something because everybody references January 6th. Everybody references January 6th when they say that Donald Trump, he's going to be a dictator. He staged an insurrection. And I heard somebody say it was a debate on Piers Morgan, matter of fact. There's a guy named Eric. He was on there with the guy Candace Owens. I forget his name. Sink or something like his name is. I don't know. And the Young Turks guy. And the guy said, if you think that what happened on January 6th was an insurrection, then that would be the first time in history where people staged an insurrection and came without weapons. Now, I don't know exactly what everybody came with, but just think about it from that standpoint. It was an insurrection that people had no weapons. Like they were just going to bulldoze the front. Like you see that happening. Didn't we just see if you just took the insurrection? It's funny. I just thought about this. This may be totally off. I don't know. Y'all tell me. Remember the video when it was a soccer game. Wasn't it in Miami? I don't think it was a World Cup game, but there was some big game in Miami where people were getting injured because they just bum rushed. They just rushed the gate. People were falling on top of each other. The insurrection If you come somewhere with no weapons, what damage do you think you're doing? You think you're going to take over the country with no weapons? Without an army, you think you're going to take over? That's your insurrection. So just something to think about. I don't know where y'all stand on it, but making sure that we get to Shai's point. So Shai wrote, it's crazy that they have increased troops in Alaska for because Russian activity is increasing in the area. This is happening now. Yo, I'm so glad that you wrote that. We are prepping for war. If this was sports, like we would be in war week. You know how like when we're getting ready to play, I don't know, say we're getting ready to play James Madison, or I'm sorry, I don't want to, not my small schools. Let's say we're getting ready to play, the Giants are getting ready to play the Cowboys. We call that Cowboys week. So it is that week. It is war week. The preparation is already happening. The plans are already in play. People are just waiting to see. It's like, for the coin toss, who's going to kick off? Who's going to get the ball first? That's what we're waiting for. Who's kicking off? Who's receiving? That's where we are right now. I don't know about y'all, but I know that we're making abortion the number one thing. I know Steph Curry came out and he said that abortions and women's rights are the number one thing that makes him want to vote for Kamala. I don't know if I don't know if that's going to matter. I don't know if any of that's going to matter, because as bad as we like to make Putin seem and Russia seem, and what is it? Which one is it? North Korea, I think. As bad as we like to make all these leaders in these countries seem, are we not worried about what's getting ready to happen? Do we not think that people who have weapons that can reach us won't use them if we're using weapons on them? What ends up happening, right? You slap somebody, then they punch you. You punch them, then they stab you. They stab you, and then they shoot. Everything gets escalated. So where do we think that once this starts, where do we think it's going to end? We don't even want to stop the rhetoric that the Democrats are using and the Republicans are using. We don't even want to stop the rhetoric between our own parties in our own country. One side escalates it, the other side escalates it, and it just keeps going from there. Why do we think that if we get into a war, that really ain't even got anything to do with us, but if we get into a war, why do we think that our lives are not at risk? I understand we want to focus on abortions and women's rights and all this other stuff. I get all that. But if we go to war, none of that may matter. All of that may be out the window. That's where we are. So while everybody's screaming about Donald Trump's a threat to democracy, we are getting ready to go to war. Forget that. We may not have another election the way things go, or some of us may not be involved in it, because what do we think? Like, oh, it's war, but what do we think? They go to another planet and then they have the war, or they meet up at a football stadium and then they shoot it out. Like, do we think it's like the colonial wars, the Revolutionary War, where everybody just lines up and then they just take shots at each other? No. Do we not see what's going on in Lebanon, Israel, Palestine, Ukraine, Russia, countries in Africa? War is ugly. And because we have not experienced it on our land, I think a lot of us, including me, lack a real appreciation for it. How can I have a real appreciation for it? Just by watching movies? I don't want to go to war. I do not want to go to war. It scares me. You want to know why? Because that's an energy that I do not want to be on earth with. That's a frequency that I do not want to be around people on. I do not want to. You're a button push away. You're one of these, just like how somebody can open up a laptop, boom, press a button. That's how close we are to our world completely being over. Because as soon as one person presses the button, what do you think? Hey, come on, man. We gotta. I don't know if our level of urgency is there. I do not know if our level of urgency is there. All right, where do we want to get to? I think we got a couple more. Do I want to go reputation? I know it's already 10:47. All right, so let me play this video. Let's move on to Diddy and talk a little bit about Shannon Sharpe.